Hello guys, so I'm very excited to start my new series on machine learning implementation with Python. So first today I'm going to show you what is meant by machine learning, what are this hype all about, and how we can perform that models in Python in the upcoming videos. So let's start with machine learning. So as Herbert Simon in his 1990s paper, he published a statement stating that learning is any process by which a system improves performance from experiences. So basically it means that we want to improve our model, we want to improve our let's say software. How we can do that? We can improvise that by implementing a learning, and that learning can help us to improvise that software. So that learning here I'm referring to machine learning. So what basically machine learning is, let's say I have a group photo. In this group photo I have divided each row with different group. You can see that, and number one is apple, pear, tomato, cow, dog and horse. So we have different groups, and based on that groups we mark groups from 1 to 6. Now let's say I have a picture. Now I want to know on what group this picture belongs. So I can't say that easily. Let's say I take a photo of horse and I say horse is at group number 6. Because I can see that, so I can easily identify that. But for machine it's very complicated task. He had to process each photo in binary form and then group them and then name that at group number 1, 2, 3, etc. So this is a machine learning algorithm problem, and to be more specific, it's a clustering problems in which we cluster or group are different same elements into same group and different elements into different group. So if I say I have a horse photo and I want to know on which group it's belong, then for its learning process it process that photo and then search for every group, and then which is the best matches group, which is group number 6, so it can identify it's a group number 6. So that's a machine learning, and we are going to see how we do that in the upcoming videos, which I'm going to post it on this channel only. So now why do we need to learn machine learning? Why machine learning is so important for us that everyone should know machine learning if you want to build up its software, its upcoming anything. Machine learning can be used in most of the scenarios. We can say that in banking we can identify the customers based on his activities. It is a good customer, bad customer, or what policies we can handle so that our company will be in profit. What we can obtain is that we can obtain less risk fraud and fewer fraud of the company which people are getting. So we can examine their data previously, and so we examine the data. Now we process that data in machine learning, and based on that data we predict. So let's say I have a customer who pays only this much amount and take loan from a bank which is really high. So we can say that yes, this data is very sneaky, so that means it can cause fraud. So we limit that transaction process for that customer, which we decided based on the machine learning. In the biomedical also we use this. In the medicine also, like I said, diagnosis and prognosis, you see that we can identify a image based on that it's CRI scan. So if you have a lung cancer, so based on that lung cancer result we can predict that he is actually having a cancer or it's just a tumor which can be improvised later. Machine learning is also used in security purposes also. You already know face recognition, which is used in your mobile data, signatures, its fingerprints, iris scan, DNA fingerprints. These all are the important features which you should know and which you can implement using the machine learning algorithms. In the computer data also, handwriting and speech recognitions, you can say text translation. That's how Google and Alexa is working. They are recognizing the speech, and based on their speech they search that in their engine and then predict the results. It's all machine learning algorithms which are happening. So let's see a basic example what machine learning is. You say you have a training data, and that training data is now learned into the algorithm, and we have different algorithm for different problems. So it's not like that it's a machine learning problem. We have data, we implemented that problem, and that's a machine learning algorithm and we solved that. No, that data should be that data can be categorized into different formats. Is it supervised, is it unsupervised, or it is a reinforcement problem? We have to verify that, and that when we can process that data into the machine learning. So what are the basic steps for performing a machine learning onto your system? First of all, we need to collect the data. In Python, we are going to collect the data using the pandas library. You already heard of pandas. It's help to maintain the data. We are going to pre-process the data, that's converting into binary form, equalizing, etc., and then training a model, which is basically a machine learning model, and then we are going to predict the results. And finally, this is the fifth step, which is basically using industrial performance, that is to improve the performance. Basically, you are in a learning stage, so you don't know how to improve, but improving the performance of your machine learning algorithm is very important if you want to stay in the upcoming markets. So this can help us to identify the results better. Improving the performance basically is hit and trial method. So first of all, I am going to show you how you can implement a model and then you can improve it by automatically. I'm going to show you how you can improve in. There's algorithms for that also. And let's see how many types machine learning is classified. It's classified into 3 types basically: classification problem, clustering problems, and regression problem. So what do you mean by classification? Classification means to classify that this belongs to this group or this belongs to that group. It's basically means divided into 2 categories, classifying into 2. Let's say cat and dog. So it's say I show him a photo, I show algorithm a photo, it predicted that yes, it's belong to cat, so it's a cat. And if say it's belong to dog group, so it's a dog. So based on that group, it's classifying that it's a dog or cat. And when I say clustering problems, I simply means more than 2 basically. So more than 2 groups, like we have shown earlier, the cat, dog, apple, mango, these are certain groups, and we have to search for best fit. And for the best fit, we define that yes, this photo belongs to this group, so we can identify that. And in the regression problem, it's basically a line fitting problem, in which we have some input, and based on that input we fit the line. We are going to see these things, don't worry about that. This all will be covered in the upcoming videos with the Python implementation, so you are going to be hands-on with this algorithms your way. So machine learning is of algorithms are of 3 types: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcements. What do you mean by supervised? So supervised means you have this data and you have the outcomes of that data. So what do you need to do is you need to process that input data, and based on that data you predicted your result. Now you're going to match that predicted result to your original data. So it's all provided in the supervised learning. And what it means by unsupervised learning, I mean there is different groups and nothing else. You don't know what is the outcome, you don't know how we're going to define that, but there are different groups which you can handle. So it's basically a big data problem in which you have to extract the data, useful data, into your algorithm and implement that. And when you implement the useful data, it's going to define its algorithm and group them as a single data if having a single properties. Unsupervised is basically clustering. And third is the reinforcement. You have seen reinforcement algorithms like in the dog walking, you have seen the robotic dog walking, etc. videos. In this, it's a reinforcement. So in the reinforcement, the algorithm learns from the environment, which is the present scenario. It's the other 2 are the predicted outcomes on the input data. But in the reinforcement, the input data is itself taking on the live. Taking live means that if it's self-learning, then that means he is going to store some data. So if it's learning correctly, then he will be rewarded with a gift, and if he is not learning correctly, that means he has done something wrong, then we are going to penalty him. In the machine learning model, we simply means by giving the data, giving the gift means we are giving him value 1, and we are penalizing means we are giving him value 0. So we all are going to cover these topics in the upcoming videos. Hope you all guys very excited to get ready with me and be ready for the upcoming videos. We are going to starting with the linear regression, which is a supervised problem, and in this we are going to see how we are going to implement this using Python.